And I don't think there is nothing wrong in saying that, but we must understand that in other jurisdictions, what is happening is that there is payment of, against charge against land where developments have come and they were not there before, because anyway, these developments must be funded by either the land or by a taxpayer. So, and I think that is what was taken to mean that we are charging a charge on freehold, and there is likelihood.
Alice Wahome, you are being too wordy.
Yeah.
You can say what you are saying in very concise terms.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The Speaker,
I believe I have maybe exhausted.
Hold, there's a point of order there.
Yeah.
The Speaker, it is good to have clarity on this matter, because that bill was as well a controversial bill. It is very important to have clarity here that the proposal that came from the ministry was that all freehold land be changed to leasehold in the whole republic. It is Parliament, a committee of this Parliament, and that's why Parliament must be given credit where they do their work, that is suggesting to them that we should maybe do it in cities. But the ministry, what they brought to Parliament was that they want even the ancestral land that somebody is holding a freehold in Migori. They wanted to change it to leasehold. For what? She should tell us why, what was informing that, instead of now hiding under Parliament.
Alice, why?
The provision was saying that the minister will be able to designate the areas, which then means you designate through regulations, and I would still have had to come to Parliament to be allowed the designated areas that we would have picked. So, and therefore, the proposal by Parliament, I commend. I think it helped and it improved the provision.
Mole?
Thank you, Chair, and I'm sorry I didn't want to interrupt.
You have interrupted, just go on.
Chair, we are in a vetting process, and the leader of majority and the leader of minority have stated the actual position, but the nominee, she's trying to run away from the reality. The reality is that the bill which came to the House exactly wanted to levy even the ancestral land in this country. And it came from the ministry. She was the CS. So instead of using too many words, please admit we move forward. Because at the end of the day, Kenyans could not accept your proposal. And it came from you. It did not come from the House of Parliament.
Speaker.
It did not come from Kenyans. It came from your office.
Yes, sure.
Yes, Alice.
Speaker, I said that the proposal had indicated that the minister will designate areas where the levy will be. It was not blanket, because it is not possible to collect.
Point of order,
it is not
Chair.
possible to collect
Point
levy
of order.
in the entire country.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
that is true. But why do you want to subject a land that is in Bungoma or Migori for a minister who's sitting in Nairobi to designate whether it will be a freehold or a leasehold? Why do you want to do that? Just say it was wrong to do that, and now you are rectifying it. You are agreeing with Parliament for that issue to become a city's issue. Just and we move on, Madam C. You are a former member of Parliament here.
I think the clarity I have made, I have even given credit to Parliament, but I have said that it is Parliament that was going to give me permission to say where to levy the. Yes.
Point of order,
Okay.
a brief one.
Yes, yes, Naisula.
Thank you, Speaker. And I just want to put it to the nominee, and from what the majority leader had said to another nominee here, that one of the challenges of the cabinet that was there before is communication. because Kenyans are not understanding what you want to do. When they raise questions, it is said to be propaganda, but now we have confirmed here today that it is actually the truth. And so I think moving forward, if you're confirmed, and the last thing also is when there is public participation and Kenyans have an issue with a clause or with a matter in a bill, it should be discussed thoroughly and given the view of those because the bill could be good, everything else could be good, and we have one contentious issue. Could we exhaust it? Because I can assure you, after what happened in Parliament, these parliamentarians will not be a rubber stamp anymore to any issue that will be contentious, Madam Nominee. So that is all I wanted to do so that we could make progress.
Yeah, thank you. I would hate a parliament that is a rubber stamp. It's of no use to anybody, even themselves. But, and I agree with you, this bill had not even gone to second reading where the debate was going to happen. And during debate, the proposals for amendments would obviously, by the House, I think the subject was still...
We'll make progress. Alice, what the members are telling you is that a bill came from your ministry with these contentious proposals to the House. When it was picked up and spread like wildfire, the ministry maintained a conspiracy of silence. Instead of coming up to say, it was our bill, we withdraw it so that you quell the fire, you said nothing. But that is, let's move on. Posing?
Thank you, Speaker. I think there is need for better communication. Yes. I agree with you throughout the entire government, including my former ministry.
Yes, even His Excellency the President has said, lamented, that one of the weaknesses in the government is poor communication. You're doing good things which nobody knows. And when you do bad ones, you don't own up.
Questions on housing levy.
Okay.
Yes,
order, Speaker.
We proceed to the housing levy question. I was asked by Honorable Koech how many people or youth we have employed under the affordable housing levy program. I want to confirm that in our records we have about 106,000 youth, both men and women, and I want to add here that most of them are youthful, below 35, and we ensure also that we include women because we have women who have the skills and artisan skills, yes.
Youth has no gender, it's just youth, men and women.
Sometimes when you say a man, it is said it is also a woman, but until you say it is both male and female, then there is a problem. So thank you, Honorable Speaker, but I would say the youth, it can be youth, women and youth, or youth men. Yes, so we have ensured that gender is also observed in terms of those who are working and benefiting. Is it sustainable? It will be sustainable if we are able to continue with the housing, affordable housing levy. And I'm aware that it is also still in court. Would I say that up to now we have over 100, we have at least 48,000 housing units that are in different stages of construction, between maybe 20% and 95%, some nearing completion. In fact, we expect that we will be launching several of those units this year. And so it is sustainable because this is one of the best projects and programs that the country can allow to continue. Everything else bad said about it, but this one in terms of employment and in terms of self-sustaining, if we can allow the levy to continue, it is sustainable. And I bet that what we are giving, including allowing housing to people who previously cannot access and afford decent homes, then I would think that the country should take it and proceed with it.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. And if we were to be direct to the question and answer, we would say we are almost spending 1 hour only for leadership of the House. We have not even had anything ourselves. So, Speaker, what is mine? Mine is this. Nominee, Honorable Alice Wahome. This issue of house levy or house tax, of course, was very controversial, and it is still controversial.
Alice Wahome. Precisely, Alice Wahome is telling us that we have to pay for the land that we own. So wherever you are coming, can you imagine, this is my land, people came and started business here, na biashara kaboom, kainuka, and therefore I'm part of the people doing the business in the same place. Now I have to pay for this land that people have come and made this place functional. Now there's business. Yeah. And why do we have leaders who have forest of words and desert of points? Kenyans, can I steal you a secret? These leaders, whatever, even if they reject here in Parliament, you know, these same leaders go ahead and implement the same thing. They just keep quiet. Nowadays, they are very wise. They keep quiet. They know where your focus is. They keep quiet with it. And at the end of the day, you hear people complaining down. Why? What is this? And now finally it becomes a law. Yeah. See, this one, we will start from the urban. It's like when you are starting a business and you have to test it whether it is working. Coca-Cola, if they want to introduce a new product in the market, they have a better part of it. Better in the state in which you test something if it is valuable for the people. Is it good for the people's consumption? So if people says no, you go back to the company and try to come up with something else more good, or add some spices, or add something. You see, but now in the government, this is what they do. You discuss, and then they say, okay, now we are not going to do it. They don't make a deliberate conclusion. They just leave it open-ended like that, because they explain a lot of words, forest of words, desert of points. At the end of the day, we are left just hanging like that. Now, secretly, we think there is a change that is going to come. Secretly, we think now we are headed to the right direction. The point is, which action are we taking? It is the action that changes things. It is not the words that changes things. Once you've planned, you know, sometimes you can plan something. And when you start doing it, you realize you need to do some amendments over what you've just started doing. You see, even if these videos we make, sometimes we make mistakes and we realize, okay, now, because this is the direction I'm moving to, I'll make changes on the way as I flow, you see. But these leaders, we talk, after talking, they go. They implement the same thing they did. As long as I live, let me make a confession here. And somebody will quote me in times to come. As long as I live in my matrimonial land, or any land I'm going to buy henceforth, let me find a leader coming to talk shit on it, more especially my matrimonial land. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you are, but what I'm going to do is to protect, is to make you be a lesson to the people imposing wrong rules to the people. I'll teach you a lesson to be an example of the bad leaders. I will humiliate you to understand that people has power. If they have said no, respect the no. Now we are slowly going to oxygen and say, in this area, there's a lot of trees, therefore you consume a lot of oxygen. So you at least have to pay something for this oxygen. You see, what is this all taxes for? What are all this for? What do we want? You see, fake promises, to fulfill fake promises, or to do, for whose interest are you doing all this? For whose interest? If it is our interest, then you have to, when you talk about public participation, who do you ask? Me, I've never been asked any question, for instance. Where do you seek this public participation? Where do you find public participation? Who do you involve during public participation? Which kind of questions? You know, sometimes you formulate wrong questions and you take it with the people. The policing ones, and they say, oh yeah, if this one is okay, just implement it. But behind the curtains is something that is hidden. And that's why I want to tell Kenyans. Clarity is very, this time round, we are not going to allow foggy in our mind. We just need clarity. This is what we want. If we say no to land taxation, it is enough. It is like that. It is no. It is not no, yes. No is no. And finally, let me tell you, find a system in which we are going to be connected in a way that if this person is oppressed or there's wrong charges passed on this person, we are going to stand for this person. We're not going to leave this person alone for any cost. So that now the government will realize Kenyans are united, Kenyans have come together, and Kenyans have realized. And this is going to take this country forward. Remember, growth is you as an individual growing. Growth is not the country. Growth is not trees. Growth is not buildings. We need people. People must grow. People must realize that is growth. And that's how I define growth. So if individuals are not growing, 75% of the people are feeling like there is some oppression exerted on top of them. If 75 are feeling that weight of exertion, of wrong energy passed on to them, and their voices are not heard, yeah? If they have been overloaded by promises which are unfulfilled, the eruption that is going to come from those people, that will tell you that you have passed wrong churches. So therefore, let us try to come together, make a connection, so that we are not going to allow wrong charges to be passed on these people, on these 75 people or 85 people who are oppressed, who are seen as stupid, who are mistreated, who are lied on, who are promised. Let us try to come up with a formula of connectivity that is going to help us now speak in one voice, so that when the other person is being oppressed, we can stand and say, oh no, we cannot allow that to happen. And I think I've seen it. Together, changes will come. Together, we can bring change. Together, we can grow. And if we learn the art of togetherness, cohesiveness, trust me, no leader will pass wrong laws, which at the end of the day oppresses the people. Just come to learn a lesson and come together. These kind of leaders who are arguing over land, is your land, you see, because they know they have money and they are exempted from being, interrogated. They know they are excluded from their land being taken or being taxed. They know it. They have money. They know how to play these games. And therefore, we also need to learn how to come together and see who is going to win at the end of the day. Thank you so much, guys.